In Israel's ancient tabernacle, who does the altar symbolize as our supreme sacrifice? Who could the olive oil lamps symbolize? Is there a greater tabernacle in heaven? Let's look at Exodus 27. Of what materials was the altar to be constructed? You are to construct the altar of acacia wood. The altar must be square, 7.5 feet long and 7.5 feet wide. It must be 4.5 feet high. Make horns for it on its 4 corners. The horns are to be of one piece. Overlay it with bronze. Make its pots for removing ashes, and its shovels, basins, meat forks, and fire pans. Make all its utensils of bronze. Was it to have a mesh or grill like many a barbecue does? You're to make a lattice, a netting of bronze for it, and you are to make 4 bronze rings on the netting at its 4 corners. You are to put it under the ledge of the altar so that the netting extends halfway up the altar. Was it to have poles like other items of tabernacle furniture for carrying purposes? And you shall make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar, to bear it. Hollow with boards shall you make it, as it was shown you in the mount, so shall they make it. Was there to be a fence around a court for the tabernacle? You shall make the court of the tabernacle. On the south side there shall be hangings for the court of fine twisted linen, 100 cubits long for one side, and its pillars shall be 20, with the 20 bases of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be of silver. Likewise for the north side in length there shall be hangings 100 cubits long, and its 20 pillars with their 20 bases of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be of silver. For the width of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, with their 10 pillars and their 10 bases. The width of the court on the east side toward the sunrise shall be 50 cubits. What are the dimensions and other details for the gate? The hangings for the one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 bases. And for the other side there shall be hangings of 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 bases. And for the gate of the courtyard there shall be a curtain of 20 cubits, of violet, purple, and scarlet material, and fine twisted linen, the work of a weaver, with their 4 pillars and their 4 bases. In summary, what are the materials and dimensions of the courtyard? All the posts around the courtyard are to have silver bands and hooks, and bronze bases. The courtyard shall be 100 cubits long and 50 cubits wide, with curtains of finely twisted linen 5 cubits high, and with bronze bases. All the other articles used in the service of the tabernacle, whatever their function, including all the tent pegs for it, and those for the courtyard, are to be of bronze. What are some details regarding the lamps for the tabernacle? Ignore the depictions with candles. These were oil lamps. Command the people of Israel to bring you pure oil of pressed olives for the light, to keep the lamps burning continually. The lampstand will stand in the tabernacle, in front of the inner curtain that shields the Ark of the Covenant. Aaron and his sons must keep the lamps burning in the Lord's presence all night. This is a permanent law for the people of Israel, and it must be observed from generation to generation. Do we have another altar and different food to that shared in the tabernacle? We have an altar from which those who serve the Holy Tabernacle have no right to eat. Was this a copy of a greater tabernacle in heaven? Now in the things which we're saying, the main point is this. We have such a high priest who sat down on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in heavens, a servant of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched, not man. Who is the temple and the light in the holy city, New Jerusalem? I didn't see a temple in the city, because its temple is the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb. The city doesn't need the sun or the moon to shine on it, because God's glory is its light, and its lamp is the Lamb. The nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it. In Israel's ancient tabernacle, who does the altar symbolize as our supreme sacrifice? Who could the olive oil lamps symbolize? Is there a greater tabernacle in heaven? You decide.